Lego series play is a method that I helped develop in the mid and late 1990s when I was a professor at IMD, the business school in Lausanne. At that time, companies were really struggling with change, just like now, and they were struggling with also having new tools to see the world differently and perhaps see the same thing in a different perspective. And I experienced in my job as both an executive educator and a researcher and as also a consultant to many corporations that they wanted to have something new. It turned out that at that time I was asked to do an executive education program for the Lego company. And when I came there, I saw that they had Lego materials on their tables, but in balls on the tables, but they didn't really use it. That gave the idea to start to use that material as a language. So rather than have them respond on everything on slides or flip charts, I said, build the answer. And they were very open to this, of course, because they worked for the Lego company. And they started to build, and when they built, they started to see things differently. They used metaphors, created new kind of stories. This became the trigger for doing things differently. Clearly, of course, this was new at that time, and it was a bit different. It's not that people didn't use Lego for kind of things, but the way we used it was to use Lego as a language, to use the color, shape, size, forms, texture as a way to create meaning. And of course, some of my colleagues thought I was a bit wacko, going into executive education sessions or consulting sessions with serious groups of managers in large corporations with Lego kits under my arm. But I persisted, and I thought this was very interesting, and I did experiment a lot at IMD, and some colleagues thought I was a nutcase. Other colleagues were very, very encouraging, such as my good friend Bart Victor, and we did a lot of this work. Today I think it's a little bit more accepted, although it's hard to see Fortune 500 companies openly saying they use these materials or tools. It's easy to say they work with the big consulting firms, but they do use this. And today there's thousands of people that are, you can say, trained in this method, and they use it with tens of thousands of people. So you can say it's still a bit odd to say that you're using play materials for serious conversations, but that's the point. The point is to change the mentality from productive work to eventually useful play, and changing the medium of communication as well. This particular way of working speaks to some people more than other people, and I do believe cultures make sense. I have worked with people who are born to put Lego bricks together, and I work with people who are very uncomfortable putting bricks together and hardly cannot do it. So I think one has to be very respectful to different traditions and different cultures. But the very notion of constructing with your hands is, I think, a global thing, and that means also we can think with our hands. It's not about the Lego materials, it's about materials. It's about sort of the kinetic and the tactile usage of your hand. That's what it's about. But yes, I think there are differences across the world, and you just have to be aware of it and pay respect to that and adapt the approach a little bit differently. I am a Swedish guy, and I have worked many years, more than 2 decades abroad, and I've worked in many different schools, many different cultures, but it happens to be a Danish product. But I think these kinds of ideas will come from anywhere. Some of the source theories for using materials this way is also, I believe, back to Austria as well. We have Carl Jung, well, the Germanic part of the world at least. We have Carl Jung, who played with dirt and stuff. We have Americans, Carl and Natalie Rogers, who worked also with more of creative arts methods. So I don't think there's any national origin to these ideas. I think it's just a way of trying to see things a little bit differently and do the same in another way. I am absolutely convinced these kinds of methods, if I broadly lump it together, these kind of more creative arts-like methods are fantastically useful in times of transitions. And I think it's very, very useful right now, and I think it's growing very, very fast.